Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm Frankie-san.
And I'm Mark.
Okay. Yes, I'm wearing a New York City hat because we just had the Pope in New York City. Yes. That was very interesting. And to keep on things on a really happy note here, Minions. I never gave these guys a chance of having them in the background as a main poster. So I figured let's open up the show and celebrate them because after this weekend, they're going to break into the top 10 biggest all-time grossing international box office.
Bravo.
Yes, they're going to take out Transformers. They're only about $2 million away from yesterday.
About time.
And after this weekend, they still going to have Greece to open the country, not the movie musical. Greece, the country, is going to open up next week, and that should give it another couple $1 million. That should put it into the top 10. And it's only about $150 million away from Frozen. Will it make it? Probably not. But it did break the top 10, and it's considered right now to be the second biggest animated movie of all time. And I won a $20 bet thanks to these little guys that said, Frank, the movie's not going to even break the top 50. Wrong. So, on behalf of the Minions, papaya, banana, patatu. Okay.
Yep.
Now, a little business to get out of the way. Okay. Technically, we had a problem with the mastering of the show. We transferred the show onto this, recorded, and then uploaded to YouTube. Well, we had a problem with that. I finally uploaded it yesterday. Okay, I made an announcement with that on a blog. Let's go to the blog. Okay, I made the announcement. And in case you didn't see it, didn't tune in 2 Saturdays ago, because we are bi-weekly, and I updated the blog. It's from Monday to Thursdays. I updated yesterday, saying that updated the website. I was very busy yesterday, very busy camper. I also did a brand new Blog Talk radio show, and which is right up there, right on your, I believe on your right. Okay, as far as the website being updated, we'll just go back up. Just click on that big ass logo right there, Videoland Express, and that will take you to the website, our main website. And yesterday I also uploaded, you see those little icons on your right hand side? The middle button, those two little dots will be flicker. Okay, and I uploaded some pictures of the DeLorean. DeLorean, I took those pictures about 2 years ago. The DeLorean, what it does, it goes to every state every couple months. For charity, for Michael J. Fox's charity. And then it's this particular time, it was in Times Square off of Broadway 2 years ago, and I couldn't find the pictures. So I uploaded them, finally found them, uploaded them. I did that also yesterday. I did the radio show. I updated the website of the last dates of our show. Let's go back to the blog, and everything's mentioned there on the blog, okay? And you see I updated saying I put a brand new link according to the new James Bond theme, which premiered yesterday. So we're going to be talking about that. So let's do a quick Blu-ray review. And let's go to our James Bond poster. Because that's going to be like the second biggest,
event? I mean, the biggest, the
Yeah,
second biggest event?
well, yeah, face it. What's everybody looking forward to? James Bond and Star Wars. That's it. Nobody's looking forward to Hunger Games. You know, but they're making so many predictions. Oh, the anticipated return of Hunger Games, and that's going to be the biggest movie of all of the year. So you see, you're kidding me, really?
Probably. I'm saying probably they're kidding you.
Yeah, I mean, nobody
Yeah,
cares.
things slowly been, I guess, crashing.
Let's put it this way. They haven't even mentioned there's no trailers or anything on Hunger Games, you know? And James Bond, they're not wasting any time with James Bond, and we're still waiting for another trailer on Star Wars. We got a little table bouncing over here. Anyway, but let's get to, we're going to get to that James Bond theme. I showed this about a couple years ago, about 2 years ago when it did happen. Vin Diesel, okay, in the Walk of Hall of Fame, and say, hey, did he really deserve it? Well, guess what? And a little quick review on the Furious 7 Blu-ray, and it has 90 minutes of details and behind the scene making of, and this has sold over 50 million copies in the first couple of days of its release.
Wow.
And they say right now it's the biggest selling Blu-ray of the year. Okay, now we're still waiting for Jurassic World, of course, and then Minions going to be also released, you know, but, and also, let's not forget, Avengers Ultron But I think there's going to be a problem with that because it's only 45 minutes. Now, Ultron is like the fifth biggest picture of all year, of all time. And you only give us 45 minutes? At least this has 90 minutes. The big thing about this, now, I went through the review, complete review on my Blog Talk radio show. So you want to go more details. I just want to say to this here, congratulations to Vin Diesel because he wants to direct. I think he should get another director. James Wan got offered a lot of money, a big FU account. And he didn't want to do a movie because his Vin Diesel was difficult. It was difficult for everybody because of Paul Walker. Here's the thing about this. There's hardly any mention about Paul Walker. Only 2 mentions. The big mention is the big scene where the cars went out of the planes and they went down the mountains. That was all based on Return of the Jedi. The big, what do you call it? The speeder?
The land speeder.
The land speeder, right. The speed biker scenes with the stormtroopers. They're going through the forest and the Return of the Jedi. Well, James Wan based it on that for that particular scene in Furious 7. So the little Jedi reference right in there. Yeah, and 2 small little things about continuing the film, after Paul Walker's dead. But I'm very surprised that there's hardly any mention of Paul Walker. Just 2 little tidbits and behind the scenes, and that's it. So, but anyway, so does Paul Walker deserve the Hall of Fame? Well, after selling for $50 million and putting this picture in the top 5 of all time, yeah, he deserves it. Little trivia. Now, what does Game of Thrones and Furious 7 have to do? So sort of like Kevin Bacon game, but and 3 tries instead of 6. Usually Kevin Bacon is like 6. You have 6 chances.
Yeah,
to get
6. No, you have 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Okay, this is very simple. Vin Diesel and Peter Dinklage, who won an Emmy Award for Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones won for Best Show, finally, at the Emmys. Well, here's a picture. Peter Dinklage plays the lawyer who helps out Vin Diesel, who plays the mobster, and find me guilty. Okay, a very underrated picture, and it's 75% is based on true testimony. When they're in the court, and Vin Diesel actually snubs the judge, which is really against the law, but he got away with it. It's all based on actual fact. Okay, and directed by Sidney Lumet, New York director. I'm a big fan of his. And he did an excellent courtroom drama, a black and white classic picture with Henry Fonda, all-star cast, called 12 Angry Men. Yes, it got remade quite a few times. And then, of course, he did Serpico with Al Pacino and Dog Day Afternoon, which just got re-released on 40th anniversary Blu-ray edition. So I definitely recommend those 2 pictures, okay? But another film that people don't take him seriously for Vin Diesel is another picture called Boiler Room, okay?
Oh, I thought that was awesome.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, I thought it was wonderfully done. It was a great portrayal of the sleazy world of finance.
Yes, definitely.
And like they say, in finance, much like in Vegas, the house always wins.
Yes.
Very few people are proven to be winners when they play the stock market.
I'm glad you saw that. We had a clip of that on our YouTube site. You know, Videoland Express has a YouTube site. I'll talk more about that in a little while. They made me take it down. Now, anybody can show anything practically on YouTube. But anyway, another little trivia. What does Game of Thrones have in common with James Bond as Secret Majesty's Secret Service? Well, Diane Rigg, who played the wife of James Bond in this particular film, was also nominated for Game of Thrones. And I didn't recognize her. I don't think any of the James Bond fans really recognized it until it was announced. A little trivia about this one on a Majesty's Secret Service. I'll play that a little bit later, okay? And one last trivia. What does Liam Neeson have anything to do with James Bond? Okay?
They once offered, I think they were offering him a consideration for the job as James Bond.
Yep, and he turned it down because he didn't want to be typecast as an action hero.
And now what does he do?
He does this crap.
He does action films.
He does this piece of crap. This was freaking awful.
Oh, which was worse, that or A Walk Through the Tombstones?
That was also awful. That was a waste of time. You like that one?
No.
Yeah, that was awful. Oh, God.
It was forgettable.
Yeah.
At least he's trying, I guess.
At least, you know, there's hardly any scripts to go around. I met Liam Neeson. All I can say is that guy is tall. He's like 6'6". He is tall. Yeah. I was walking right behind him. I was like, dude, you're tall. Tall.
He's as tall as our mayor, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but yeah, I heard he's a nice guy though. But another little trivia: Vin Diesel, Saving Private Ryan, because of 2 independent films that he did. I forgot the name of it. A lot of people don't give Vin Diesel credit. Of him being a producer, director, and a writer, and all that stuff. That's why he's trying.
I guess
to push
he produced he produced and wrote one of his first independent films, because I guess he couldn't get arrested in Hollywood.
Right.
So then he put together. He thought of the idea, like most actors should. It's like, don't wait for the opportunities in Hollywood. Create them to yourself. If you sit around saying, "Oh man, I'm just going to sit around and wait till those opportunities happen," it's never going to happen. But Vin Diesel was smart enough to realize this early in his career, put a movie together, got a couple of people from Hollywood to catch it, and I think there's even an independent film about that, about Vin Diesel making this movie, and him having people come to watch this film, and then talking to him, and then him working and hustling till he got to the next level.
Right. Well,
much props for him.
Well, he got discovered by Steven Spielberg because of those little two independent pictures. Multifacial and Strays, I believe, was two independent projects that he did for a couple of $1,000s. Got discovered by Spielberg, got put in this movie, and he was put into, he did the voice for Iron Giant. Okay, which also got re-released for a special anniversary on Blu-ray with 2 missing scenes, I believe. And what's funny was I just saw this yesterday, and it said, "Is that Paul Giamatti?" I didn't realize he was in this.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, I didn't realize that because I haven't seen this film like over 10 years. And of course, we said it last time. Paul Giamatti. What did they say about Paul Giamatti?
It says eventually he's going to play every single scumbag agent out there, manager, agent out there.
Of course, the two big films, Straight Outta Compton, which we both love. You saw, you never gave your review.
It was great. I had a problem with it, but I guess nowadays in Hollywood, everybody wants to see things explode, blow up. And this movie wasn't about that.
Right, a straight drama.
Yeah, straight drama. So a lot of people want to see something get blown up, or heroes come out shooting arrows. So it gets lost.
Don't forget to blow up the cows. But anyway, Straight Outta Compton. I'm still waiting for a 3-hour edition, and now it was edited out of that movie for more behind the scenes, especially concerning Paul Giamatti's character playing the scumbag manager.
Yeah, I remember when he played if you could say it, scumbag. What was he? Manager of the radio station in Howard Stern's movie Private Parts.
Of Pig Vomit.
Yeah, Pig Vomit.
Pig Vomit. And then over here he also did Love and Mercy as a manager, psychiatrist for Brian Wilson, the main genius behind the Beach Boys. Love and Mercy, I think it's playing on Netflix. I know it got released on Redbox. Definitely recommend that. Paul Dano plays the younger Brian Wilson, and John Cusack plays the older. People say that John Cusack kind of miscast. He got his body mannerisms perfected. Brian Wilson kind of walks around kind of like a zombie fire, you could say, from all that doing all that acid and the drug taking back in the late '60s. As a matter of fact, he was in The View, and Whoopi Goldberg was crying how much his songs meant to her and all that stuff. And you see him, his wife is holding his hand, and he's got to be kind of let around. So he kind of got fried, you could say. And John Cusack got his mannerism perfect. Okay, so look for that. Maybe hopefully somewhere down the line, this movie might get some Oscar consideration. Okay, let me see. What movies have you seen lately? Anything brand new you can?
Nothing brand new. Last thing I saw was the new reboot of The Transporter and Straight Outta Compton. Did I tell you about it? Yeah, Transporter. I had no problem with it. Maybe it seemed too clean cut. Maybe it seemed too perfect. But aside from that, it wasn't a bad movie overall. I mean, I wasn't that excited. I was kind of bored to watch it because it was just too perfect.
It was Hitman, and same situation over and over again. Yeah, I don't know. My movies, which I reviewed already on the Blog Talk Radio show. Excuse me, Everest. Okay, the problem with that is an hour setup before the big storm hits the mountain, and they all get
I heard it's a lot like The Perfect Storm.
No. Perfect Storm was a great movie. This was disappointing mainly because the second half...
No, I'm saying as much as that they're telling you a story of what these guys went through, what people really don't know, because these guys, were up in the mountains. So how can people really figure out what they're saying to each other, what they were going through? Sort of like in Perfect Storm. That was all imagined of what the events that occurred during the time they were out at sea.
Well, with a perfect storm, the last act of what actually happened to the boat and the men on the boat, nobody survived that. So the movie had to fill
Hopefully
in
there's a spoiler.
pieces.
Hopefully we're not giving too many spoilers out.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the movie,
Perfect storm,
the crew died. Okay, they're spoiled.
Oh, dude, terrible! You just spoiled the movie. I was gonna go watch that.
Now, Everest, already somebody who wrote the book in which the movie is based on, I forget the author's name, and he said that half the movie is bull. It's not even relatable to his own book, which was made into a screenplay. It was in Variety magazine.
That's Hollywood.
Yeah, so, but as far as for me, the movie is, the problem is, especially if you go see it in 3D on IMAX, the second half, when the storm hits, everything is all cloudy because of the storm, and all of a sudden it goes into night scenes, and I saw it in regular 2D, no IMAX, no 3D, nothing. I couldn't tell anybody one from one. I couldn't even tell what the action was going on. It was so dark. Then when the sunlight came up, you couldn't even recognize any actor. First of all, they were wearing goggles and they're full of beards with snow. I couldn't tell who was who until the very end. I find out who died and who lived. Okay, but there's a very a good, interesting, tense moment at the last 10 minutes involving a helicopter trying to rescue one of the people. By then, the movie was like, okay, let's get this over with. I was out of there. Black Mass. Johnny Depp definitely deserves an Academy Award nomination. He nailed it, but people are saying, oh, this is like the Goodfellas, the Departed. No, a big missed opportunity. They should have taken this movie and made it 3 hours so they can dwell on everybody. There's a lot of
3 hours.
The movie's only 2 hours, and it's kind of like a rush through. And what happens is they try to show his family connections, and that becomes boring. It became like a soap opera. And the main points that it's not in the movie. They're saying that the movie is pretty close for his character, but a lot of situations wasn't. Mainly because the main part was his right-hand man, the guy who actually did a lot of the killings. Even though Johnny Depp's character did do a lot of the killings, his hitman did a lot of killings. He actually wrote a book about his experiences, and that's people saying that should have been made into the movie, believe it or not. Okay, and you see the other side of the story. Same thing we were saying.
Hopefully,
like
since this is Hollywood. Since this is Hollywood, you never know. They might just do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there have been times in Hollywood where two of the same movies derived from the same theme have come out.
Yeah. Right, from a different point of angles.
Right.
And again, that's the problem, because you don't see the points of view from the hitman of a lot of the situations like Everest, and we were saying about Perfect Storm. And Everest, they try to get the bits and pieces from the survivors, but one or two people who did die, we don't know exactly what happened to them. So the movie kind of fills in the blank. Well, they probably fell off the mountain or something like that.
Yeah.
You know. So
eaten by wolves.
Yeah. Was the other movie I saw? Maze Runner #2. Boring. It's basically a chase movie. They get out of the facilities that kidnapped them, and then they try to run through Apocalypse City that's all burned out, and guess who they're getting chased by? Zombies. Boring.
Really?
Yeah. That's
zombies?
Zombies again. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then they finally made it to the end. They found out, hey, we left somebody behind. Let's go back and get them. And the movie ends like that for the third sequel. Not after this one. This was
like
boring.
Hunger Games, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It was completely useless. I liked the first one. Maze Runner I thought was kind of interesting. Okay, it had the different combinations. Lord of the Flies was a book based in the 1960s, where a bunch of children are trying to survive on their own on an island.
Yeah.
Right, you heard about that. Okay,
right.
And then basically then it turned into Westworld at the end. They find out it was an experiment. Maze Runner, boring. The way my review is right now in the movie, boring. Okay, Cooties by Elijah Wood, hysterical. Teachers fighting zombies. Definitely 2 for Tuesday. Elijah Wood, he was hysterical along with the cast. If you get to see it on Netflix, I recommend it. And right at the very beginning, you see Elijah Wood's room, and you see a picture of him when he was a kid, and right next to it is a Godzilla on the shelf. Why Godzilla is on the shelf in this movie, I have no idea. People have been asking me. Because of our Godzilla community, which I forgot to mention at the top of the show. You
think there's like the Marvel larger universe that eventually Godzilla is going to end up in this movie with Elijah Wood and the zombies?
That's two big different franchises. I don't think that will cut it. Well, coming out this weekend, Hotel Transylvania. Anything good you want to say about this?
I saw the first movie.
Cute, but that's about it.
I don't understand why would they do a second movie unless they just want to go back to the well.
Yeah.
You know, they basically just want to go back wells and say, hey, we were lucky enough to make some money off of this. Let's see if people fall for it again.
Intern with Bobby De Niro, I think we'll skip on that one. And Eli Roth coming out with Green Inferno. I heard a lot about it. A couple of my friends went yesterday, so if ain't going to be disappointed. Basically, it takes half an hour for them to get on the damn plane, another 15 minutes before the plane crashes. Then you have 45 minutes of them getting killed off one by one, and the girl trying to escape at the end. That was like another movie he did called Aftershock. Aftershock, you get it takes place in Chile. They spend all this time getting to know the characters and the disco for about half an hour. Then the earthquake happens, and then they finally decide to leave the club. Then they get chased by a bunch of murderers and stuff like that, and that's the last hour. But that movie had a little bit of a twist. So if you see a Netflix, something to kill, 2 for Tuesday maybe. We all know Eli Roth is going to go and film the big giant shark movie called Meg, something that was bouncing around from studio to studio. Now Walt Disney owns it, and it's about a giant shark. Didn't we see that?
Sort of like Jaws?
Yeah, didn't we see that in Sci-Fi Channel? But believe it or not, the book was written right after Jaws. Okay, that's how old the book and concept is. And they're finding
wow. So you mean the movie came out, this guy was probably sitting in the theater, wanted to be left alone, sat in the theater, probably was watching this movie, says, damn, I think I have an idea for a movie.
Yeah, a giant shark.
Writing down. A big shark goes to kill people.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Well, now that Jurassic World made $1 billion, well, they say, we have anything sitting around on the shelf? Yeah, this whole story about the giant shark, Meg. The shark is a prehistoric shark that comes to life after being unfrozen, like Godzilla. So much for ingenuity. Stick to Sci-Fi Channel movies, folks.
Yes.
Okay, and last but not least, let's get back to this little trivia. An Emergency Secret Service is exactly 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds, if you can remember that. There's a weird scene over here. People are talking about movie mistakes. Everybody knows James Bond has the biggest movie mistakes of all time. And there's an overlap when the helicopters land. This is when they're lacking Blofred's cast, well, it's not a hideout, but what is... a
volcano?
Not a volcano. This time it's little castles on the snow mountains anyway, in Switzerland. And the helicopters start attacking it. And there's a strange transition that one helicopter fades in and another helicopter fades out. That was a weird transition, and they left it in the movie. Excuse me, folks. 2 hours and 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Actually, 2:06 minus a couple of seconds, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, talking about mistakes, the big faux pas. We're all looking forward to James Bond. New James Bond theme, Wipeout. I'm so disappointed. Sam Jones, finally, we get somebody who's English.
You mean Sam Smith?
Sam Smith, excuse me, right. Sam Jones is the guy who did Flash. Okay.
Yeah. Or you're thinking about Tom Jones. There's Tom Jones, like you were telling me before, he did a theme song for James Bond, and Sam Smith did this last theme song. And what's the name of it?
Writings on the Wall. It's the first time a British male singer has written and sang a song since Tom Jones, who did the theme song for Thunderball back in 1960.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was one of the, I'm sorry to say, that was one of the better James Bond films. It was like a culmination of action, and they even said that this sort of revitalized James Bond.
Yeah.
Thunderball.
Yeah, yep.
And I think Sean Connery was saying that he did not want to do this movie. I guess because he was just trying to get more money.
Yeah, well, they're already saying about Daniel Craig, this is going to be his last movie. He's getting too tired.
He's too old for this.
Yeah.
I got to retire.
Flash 5, Cinco million dineros, and he'll do it. He'll do another movie. Oh yeah.
Give me $5 million, I'll do it.
Yeah. When he's getting paid 15, he'll get a raise of $5 million.
There's a problem with all these guys. The problem with all these action heroes, movie stars, I start getting sick of them because these people start forgetting that at one point it stops being about them and it has to be about the writing. And these guys just become, all these people in Hollywood just become mercenaries. I mean, if you want to be a mercenary, fine, go be a mercenary. But when the movie bombs, are you going to give the money back?
No.
Are you going to return the money back to all of us who paid and wasted 2 hours of our lives to see this thing throw a big stinky egg?
Well, don't forget, actors, when they're in the prime, they got to hit it, and hit it fast, hit it hard, trying to get as much money, because in 20 years, nobody wants them anymore.
Schwarzenegger, i.e. Schwarzenegger, or
Yeah.
i.e. anybody else. Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I mean, the Bruce Willis does so many straight-to-video movies. You know, he shows up for a couple scenes for a couple days, films it, boom, catches $1 million or $2, and next project. The problem with this song is this has got to be really. It doesn't fit. I went into details on my Blog Talk radio show. Basically, he sings in a very falsetto tune. John Lennon used to do that. To hit the high notes, you do a falsetto kind of sound. I'm not a singer, so I'm not going to even try it. It just doesn't fit the movie. The opening scene.
Really?
Yeah, the openings, you hear the orchestra. And the orchestra comes in with the strings. That fits. All of a sudden, when he starts singing, it starts singing slow. Like, what's the name of the Skyfall? I'm blanking out.
I'm blank out on the singers. I mean,
who? Adele. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Ray, the engineer. Thank you. Ryan. Excuse me, Ryan. Yeah, we're blanking out with names here. But anyway, sorry
There's
about that.
too much to remember. Imagine
half-hour show here. I was squeezing a lot.
Could you imagine if you had to take a test and you have to put all these names down and the dates? Forget it. We'll probably both end up getting 20s and 30s.
I do everybody a favor. I just write here. I'm going to give myself an F, and I'm out of here.
Yes,
I'm going to hit the bar. Okay. Yeah.
I'll just cheat. I'll put the notes here and then go like. All right.
Yeah. Of any musicians out there, a secret to a James Bond song. I'll be talking more about that in my next Black Talk Radio show. But if anybody who's into, you like beats and you got any kind of musical program on your computer, just in programs I know you can type in chords and then the computer can do it for you. Can play for you. Do this: E minor, which is a minor chord, or some of us say it's a sad chord. E minor, A minor, another minor sad chord, and then you type in a B chord, which is a major happy chord. That is a song structure that's always repeated in a lot of the James Bond songs. Anybody does composition out there. So E minor, A minor, and B. Those three chords, and that specifically was used for License to Kill, Tomorrow Never Dies. There's a bunch of them. And over here, the song structure is completely different. So when he sings the song in the chorus, it doesn't have any punch to it. And then he goes by a matter of fact, so, and the writing's on the wall. I'm going, that's really kind of lame. It's a good song. I think it just doesn't fit. It's not Madonna bad.
Right. I even heard this one DJ say, "Oh, it's a really good song, but I don't think we're going to be playing that much in the station." Yeah, in other words, you don't like it.
No.
He's like, no, it's a really good song, but I don't think that's right for the station, so we're not going to be playing it a lot. I've heard that in a lot of the stations already.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple of James Bond books. One I'm going to recommend right now. Bond on Bond is a book on the history of James Bond written by Roger Moore. Okay? And another book called For Your Eyes Only from the director John Glenn, who's the only director to direct 5 James Bond pictures in a row. He wrote a book, his biography about making James Bond. So Bond on Bond is one book by Roger Moore. For Your Eyes Only by John Glenn. I recommend that. We're going to have more Bond stuff in the next couple of episodes. We have 3 more shows left before I get on that plane. We're definitely going to be here for the premiere of James Bond. And we're going to try something on YouTube like I promised. And we'll probably be having that. And then we're going to have an announcement on the next show. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. And keep watching Doctor Who. The Daleks are back. Yes! See you next